Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jarek. We will have some questions for you, so I will share my screen here. So the first question is not really a technical one. Could you provide a link to version 4 of REHVA COVID guidance? Or
Yes. This link is available in my presentation, but this version 4 is not yet uploaded to our web page. So this very likely will be in our web page on Monday, next Monday.
Thank you. If central recirculation cannot be used, what about the transfer of air from one room to another, for example, through corridors? Do you have recommendation about that, like closing internal doors or?
No, we do not have a specific recommendation, but yes, I think yes, indeed, when the doors are open, when the air can circulate in some fashion, and the effect could be similar as a recirculation. So when we speak about cellular office, yes, when it would be reasonable to keep these doors closed when everybody is sitting in his room. That would be a very, very good and evident recommendation, yes.
Okay. In the previous guidelines released, REHVA was recommending a maximum 5% recirculation rate for rotary heat recovery section or within air-handling unit in general. This limit is not mentioned anymore in version 4. Is there a reason? Any new limits?
It should be still included in version 4. So this is basically, yeah, you can call this recirculation in the rotary heat exchanger, but this is the leakage rate, basically, yes. And this 5% is just something we see what is, according to the current standards, is, let's say, a reasonable value. It should be less than 5% if equipment will operate as and is in good technical condition. So it is still in the guidance.
Okay. Well, the next question I think has been covered by the previous one. Well, yes, there can be leaks in a wheel that, and there is a limit of. This is why there is a limit of 5% here. Given that the evidence is showing that mechanical ventilation is the best way to mitigate the infection rate in building, do you think that we are going to begin to move away from natural ventilation?
Yes, mechanical ventilation can provide very stable airflow rates. Basically, what we need just enough more outdoor air ventilation, and very likely in most of cases it's easiest way just to use a mechanical supply and exhaust ventilation to organize this very good air change. And otherwise, indeed, we have many natural ventilation systems, hybrid ventilation systems also in use, and but this is a challenging issue to be sure that the air change is good and ventilation operates all the time when indeed mechanical supply and exhaust ventilation, and because of energy performance requirements when heat recovery, mechanical ventilation is very important. And it's likely happening process already because of these very strict European energy requirements. So we cannot operate buildings with natural ventilation. It's a lot of heating cost, and when mechanical heat recovery ventilation is needed, and it's very good, especially in this epidemic situation, if the ventilation capacity is enough big.
Okay, thank you. How long does the virus survive in an HEPA filtration? Do you know that?
So virus will survive, it's about 3 hours in the air but in the surfaces it's some number of days, and it really depends on the surface. So it can survive perhaps 1 week or something like that on some surfaces.
Okay. If there is a room that is being used by just 1 person at a time, how long do we need to consider for it to be safe for the second person to use it? If the room is mechanically ventilated, how many air change would you need?
You will need 3 time constants, so it's inverse value of air change rate. So basically, if the air change rate is 1, then you will need actually 3 hours. But if the ventilation rate is higher, then you will need much less. So let's say in the meeting rooms and this type of rooms, 30 minutes is perhaps quite okay already.
Okay, so 3 air change, the time for 3 air change. Right.
3 time constants, yes, it's...
Yeah. Okay, we will take just one last question because we are running out of time here. So do you see any value in UVC or bipolar ionization?
Yes, UVC is also mentioned in our guidance. It's a way to inactivate the virus. And this can be applied so-called upper room UV devices or in the return air, so induct installation of UV lamps. So this is one way, not so much in use in Europe, more used in US, and likely Bill pamphlet will speak also about this UVC guidance ASHRAE has been provided. But in Europe it has mostly been used in hospital settings. Okay, thank you. That's a perfect transition for the Bill presentation. If we have time at the end, we will come back to all the other questions that have been asked. I'm sorry, there is a lot of people connected to this webinar, so we probably won't have time to do with everything, but we will try.